Hello, Onyx PathCon! It's so weird for me to start a show not saying hello irregulars. Although, if you are one of our irregulars from Baker Street, welcome in. My name is Will Spreadbury, better known across the internet as Radio Free Will, and I am really excited to be running Exalted for this for this con. Um, uh, yeah, why don't take us out before we dive into the game? I'm allow my players to introduce themselves. I'll start with Zachary.
Hello, I am Zachary Naldra, he, him. I can be found at Zach Rules on the interwebs in various places. And I don't know who I'm playing yet. We're about to find that out.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit before we dive into the story. Caden, what about you?
I am Caden Stageman, he, him as well. Super into World of Darkness, all these kinds of TTRPGs, super fun, and I'm super excited to play an Exalted.
And Edwin.
Hi, as Wessels, he, him. Familiar with Exalted, not with those, the Exigent version. Very familiar with World of Darkness. I know Zach from Matthew Dawkins and co. So, yeah.
All right, so we are going to be playing a one-shot based around the new Exigents type. It is brand new to third edition. Doesn't have any background in second any of the previous editions of Exalted, and the Exigents are kind of interesting because every other type of Exalted have a deity that sort of gives them power. Like all of the Solar Exalted draw their power from the Unconquered Sun. All of the Lunars draw their power from Luna, so on and so forth. The Exigents are different this way. There's a couple that break this rule, but generally speaking, the rule is each Exigent draws their power from one deity. So there's only one Exigent of that particular deity. Because all of these deities basically have to petition heaven for this exaltation to give out. And it can come from all sorts of sources, all sorts of places. And sometimes it can come from some unexpected deities, which is what we're about to get into. So I've created a couple of pre-generated characters for this. I have one who is something of a speaker for the dead type of character, when exalted, chosen by the god of forgotten ancestors. Basically, when a ghost loses any touch of a living relative, and they don't like people forget who they are, they go to this guy. We also have someone who is chosen by the King of Frogs. If you would like to play a Batrachian paladin of sorts, this one should be fun for you. We have someone who is chosen by the goddess of graffiti. In game terms, they are going to walk softly and carry a big stick because they are going to be very stealth and movement based. But their weapon of choice is an oversized pen. Known as the Mightier Sword, which is actually functions kind of like a dire lance. It's a heavy dieclave. And finally, because this is Exalted, we can't have a game without some kind of martial arts character. I have a martial artist who is chosen by the god of donuts. So you can have some kind of thrown pastry weapons if you so choose. And I also gave them the Mighty Thew merit, so that they're able to pick up large objects and, given their abilities, throw them if need be. One thing that I will preface this by before we get into it, as I said, each of the other types of Exalted draw their power from one common deity. So there's a long list. Every book has a very long list of charms that you can choose from to sort of build out this character, have them do the things you want them to do. Exigents don't have that. Exigents basically have to build all of their charms from scratch. And if we had had the time and we were going to be doing this as more of a long form kind of game, I would be sitting down with each of my players to work on some charms, come up with some abilities that they would like to do with their characters. I didn't have time to do that. We didn't have time to do that. So what I basically left the charm list for all of your characters blank. And I'm leaving it up to you. If you want to come up with a charm off the top of your head, on the fly, more power to you. And this is actually going to play into the game pretty effectively, as I will explain once we get into the game and sort of give you the premise of the adventure we're about to go on. So, anybody have a preference on which one you would like? And I will send the link for that character over in the Zoom chat here for you.
I'll take either the Speaker of the Death or the Goddess of Graffiti.
Okay.
I could do the donut martial artist.
Okay. Let me send the. There you go. The donut monk sent over. Zach.
I'll do the graffiti one if
You-
that and
All
I'll
right. We
take Speaker of the Death.
Speaker for the Dead. So I did give the speaker for the. I did write a charm in for the Speaker of the Dead, and that was Ivory Circle Necromancy. It's going to work very similar to sorcery in Exalted, except it's just going to have more of a death kind of flavor. And we will get into those. Are you familiar with the sorcery rules for Exalted?
It's been a while, but I should be able to.
So sorcery is sorcery is kind of fun. It is. I've always described it as kind of the Kamehameha wave of Exalted, because basically you have to take a couple of turns, if you do it during combat anyway. You have to take a couple of turns rolling to generate sorceress motes of essence, and then once you hit that threshold, you release the spell, and it has its big effect. If you don't roll enough on one particular turn, they do carry over. So it's basically, like I said, the Kamehameha wave. You've got a couple of turns of Kamehameha, and then Ha.
Yeah.
So, those I sent those character sheets over in the Zoom chat.
got it.
Alrighty. So, this game is taking place in the city of Great Forks in creation, out in the Scavenger Lands, towards the east. Not super deep into the east. We're not flirting with fair folk in this particular area, but along the Confederation of Rivers, there's a city known as Great Forks, sometimes called Decadent, sometimes called the City of Temples, largely because it is a city full of temples to some of the smaller gods of creation. It is called Decadence because every day is a celebration there. With this amount of gods, there is no shortage of celebrations and festivals in the name of these deities. And creation, being an animistic world, having gods of everything, there are no shortage of gods to worship. And if you are of the opinion of a cleric of the deity, or maybe you just kind of want a little bit of that power for yourself, if you want to become one of the Exalted, and you want to try to convince one of these small gods that you are the person for it, you can go there. You can petition them for what's known as Exigenesis. Basically, becoming one of these Exigent Exalted. Now, on this particular day, it is there is a parade going through the major center street of Great Forks, all leading to a central dais kind of area with a large obelisk in the center, and that is covered in the trademark colors of the deity being worshipped today, which we will say is. Which is fittingly the god of misfortune. Basically, this is the obelisk is being wrapped up in the colors for it, basically in order to appease the god of misfortune, to basically keep him away. Like no, like we like you very much, but we don't want you here. Like it's like throwing salt over your shoulder kind of ritual, right? However, the evidently the god was not listening, because as you celebrants are in the center of town, dancing, singing, feasting, a gray cloud comes whipping over and starts encircling the sky above. And then you realize from far away that that's like there are speckles in those clouds that are swirling. And as they start to come in, they start to swirl downward. And as you see, they start to get bigger. And you realize that those are bugs, massive insects, known as agata. In fact, one at the front is being ridden by a humanoid figure. She has a shock of white hair going straight up. Pale skinned, has these cracks, sort of like like they almost look like they would be wrinkles if she was old enough to have like sort of the crow's feet kind of thing, but they sort of like crackle from like the corners of her face. The entire crowd grows silent as the agata that she is riding perches on top of that obelisk. She looks down. She looks below at the celebrants, and in this raspy voice, calls out, "Adorjan sends her regards." Unfolds a whip from around her waist and cracks it, and as she does, portals open on the ground, with a few celebrants falling in. And as the few celebrants fall in, demons start crawling out. The three
gonna-
and every what's that?
I'm gonna grab whoever is next to me falling through the hole and just pull them out.
Okay. You do manage to grab someone as they are falling. But all three of you, as you grab that person, the three of you just make a run for it. And just like every celebrant, you close the door to a church, one of the temples behind you in order to try to keep some of these things out. And it is the three of you plus about a half dozen other people. What do you do from here? I would like to point out that for now, like, you have not been exalted yet. You are still mortal.
I clean like the flour off my baker attire. Just got done making donuts or any kind of pastry really, and rudely interrupted by what would be demons and insects.
Considering what just happened, looking for another way out of here to see if we can just barricade the door while we then also make our way out somewhere else.
Okay.
Were any of the buildings damaged, or is it just holes in the ground that these demons were coming out of?
Holes in the ground, but they seem to be trying to lay waste to the city around them.
This bitch is fucking up my art. This is not gonna. This is not gonna stand.
There is as you say that, you hear a voice from behind you. I do believe it is our art. And you turn around to see a woman, not like she's female in shape, but her body has almost no features to it except for two bright eyes. Everything else about her skin is this swirl of paint, and coming in at very like swirls and jagged lines, and it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It clashes as art, but it is still beautiful. She is wearing something of like sort of a headscarf around her body, and that much is it is stained with paint, but not like sort of like speckled and spattered. not like deliberately painted anything. It is her body is the paint. This is your deity. This is your patron. Her name is something I probably should have come up with ahead of time. We are going to say um,
Have I met Shakana Art before, or is this the first time that I am witnessing this deity?
you may have met her in passing because if you did worship her, the gods walk around on creation all the time. So like you may have met her, but there may be an element of sort of starstruckedness to meeting her in person and her sort of like acknowledging you. Um, we are gonna say Ravenna is her name.
All right. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Ours. Yeah. Yes. But yes, they're. That bitch is ruining our art. We have to do something about this.
We do. But you will need some help. Um, and from the ground, sort of raises this, or from the floor rises this person dressed all in gray. Um, he has one of these like long, gaunt figures. Think Anton Ego from Ratatouille. This like very just long gray gentleman kind of thing, but he's wearing the robes of a funerist. And he is known as the Keeper in Gray, and he is the god of forgotten ancestors. I don't know why I was. It's I. Well, excuse me. I agree that something must be done. However, our domain, our purviews are somewhat limited here. And the front door opens, just casually, like it was always going to be like it was. It's just a regular day at the bakery, and in steps this very round man. Like he has the same shape as like he has the same shape as like a dumpling. Um. Uh. Oh yes. I have. Did. Can we? We can help. Yes. Hello. Hello. Caden, he goes over to you and sort of like pats you on the shoulder, like, "Hello. Hello. Welcome." Um. Wait. Do you? Do you have the thing? Uh. The shards. Yes. Here. Uh, Ravenna like reaches under her clothes and sort of like inside herself and sort of pulls out and her flesh moves as though it is like liquid paint.
Well, that is both disturbing and beautiful at the same time. Remind me to paint that somewhere.
And as she does, um, she pulls out there's two things that she pulls out. One of them is a pen, but it's a pen that's about 6 feet long and wide enough to be wielded as a weapon. It's a fountain pen, so like at the very tip, it has like that sort of like bi point, but it's sharp on the end, and there's clearly like a well of ink in there. And along with it, as she sort of pulls that away, also in her hand is this little crystalline prism of light. Well, times of emergency, I suppose. and she holds that prism of light out to you, Zach. What is your character's name?
Zeke.
So Zeke, she hands out the crystal to you. Will you accept?
Yes, and I'm choosing to think that you found the best person for the job and not the closest person.
Let us both hope so. Edwin, what's your character's name?
That's Irenaeus.
Irenaeus. The Keeper in Gray, who is also sort of like flanked by, like, you can see these like small humanoid figures sort of standing on his shoulders. Like each of them seem to be saying things, but he basically has them on mute. And sort of looks around to and sees you, Irenaeus. And I don't suppose you would like to help an old man out and keep his domain together.
You only live once, right?
Ha! he says that with this, like, with a look on his face of like, oh, you poor child. and and with that he sort of like gestures to someone that you can't see and holds out his hand, and there is a bow, and a quiver of arrows appears in his hand, and similarly offers you this prism
I'll accept.
and hands you the bow to go with it. Kaden, what's your character's name?
Sir Strudel.
Sir Strudel. All right. Oh, that's right. I forgot to write a name on that one, didn't I? Ha. It's okay. um, uh, I know for certain that I have chosen the best one. And Sir the donut god actually walks over to the person next to you, and sort of looks at looks very close, and he, but then like backs away for a second and like, oh, my apologies, and then goes right over to you. And actually like pulls the prism of light like out of that person. Like that hand on the shoulder was meant to go into that, like went into them for like a split second, like, oh shit, I fucked up. Nope, no, you. And offers you the prism.
Of course I'll accept, and I'll shake the hand.
And with that, you feel this, and each of you get this. You feel this rush of energy. This is the power of divinity. This is a small fragment of godhood that is now coursing through you. You feel maybe not invincible. Maybe invincible might be too strong a word, but this is a higher calling than just basically, like, yeah, you were all sort of inducted into this in a matter of emergency, but this is a turning point in your lives. But before you can make that turn, you have to save a city.
Let's go get these bitches. Are there? Can we see out the building?
Yes, you can. There are windows. It is the temple that you're in is a temple to a willow tree. That is it's like the oldest tree in Great Forks. So there's like walls built around it in order to protect it, but like the skylight is like the whole ceiling is just one massive skylight. And there's plenty of windows to let light in. They are stained glass though, like, but you can find like the clear points within that stained glass to sort of like take a peek outside without completely, giving anything away.
He's gonna lead the way outside and find the closest team and see what this pen does.
All right. Well, as you sort of look through one of these, find one of the clearer points of the stained glass window, you see charging at you a pair of blood apes. Imagine, if you will, gorillas that stand about 8 feet tall each, blood red fur, and various bony protrusions coming out for horns and claws and armor plates on their chest and arms. And I would like you to roll. I would like you to roll wits plus awareness for me.
Okay. For those unfamiliar with this system, and we'll pretend that for the sake of argument that isn't me. What's the target number?
Well, target numbers in Exalted, it's all the same. It's anything 7 and up is considered a success, and 10s count as 2 successes.
Okay. All right, that is a success.
A single success. Okay. So you succeeded on the roll, so you are able to duck out of the way just in time as they come. Excuse me, as they come crashing through the windows into this temple.
So I'm like ducking under it.
Yeah.
Can I take my pen and kind of just shove it right up as it's going over me?
You can do that. I will give you that first action. But if you guys would like to fight these things, I will have you guys roll join combat or join battle, which is
want to join in.
which is also going to be wits plus awareness.
Do one subtract in this system?
They do not.
Okay. Then that is 3.
6 successes for Sir Strudel.
Sure.
1 success for Irenaeus.
All right. You said 1 for Irenaeus?
Yeah.
And 6 for Sir Strudel?
Yeah, good roll. Good roll.
And how many was that for you again, Zeke?
3.
So, combat in Exalted is run a little bit differently than most other systems out there in the world. Your initiative is going to change over the course of this battle, because there are 2 different types of attacks in this game: withering and decisive. A withering attack, when you succeed on a withering attack against an opponent, you raise your initiative by however much damage you dealt, and lower their initiative by the same amount. If you choose to make a decisive attack, you are going to roll your initiative as what is it? So you still roll to attack, but you roll your initiative as damage. If you want to think about it this way, withering attacks are, if you think about it in terms of boxing, withering attacks are the, quick jabs. You're trying to wear your opponent down, gauge their reaction time, and it's not necessarily just like one hit, like, oh, that's one withering attack. You can describe it as over the top, and actually it can be however many punches you need it to be. A decisive attack, conversely, is that killer right hook. It is the one shot you do to try to put your opponent down. Because in order to do the decisive attack, you're going to spend all of your initiative and bring you back down to initiative 3. So you kind of you're going to leave yourself a little bit open when you do a decisive attack. So you kind of want to make sure that you're actually going to do some serious damage. Decisive attacks are what actually damage your opponent's health track. Withering attacks do not. And give me 2 seconds because I need to roll join combat for these blood apes. Any questions about the combat system so far?
So, will withering attacks, they don't do damage, but are they able to essentially like inflict like conditions, or do they just take away from the initiative of the?
Generally speaking, they only take away from initiative. If you want to do something, try to inflict a condition of some kind. Sometimes that's done through charms. Other times that's done through what's known as a gambit. Gambits are basically another form of decisive attack, but instead of having it do damage to the health track, it will inflict whatever kind of thing, like whether you want to like sort of pull someone off their mount or trip them, or grappling has its own rules, which we can look up if anybody wants to get into grappling. But that's right. Here we go. Demons.
I'm not gonna grapple with something called a blood ape.
Yeah, smart idea. Erymanthus. That's what a blood ape's official name is Erymanthus. Right, and then there it is. Also, in order to, because I don't think I've actually mentioned, and I believe they even say that this is an optional rule in this game, Exalted has something called the stunt system. This is my personal favorite part about the game. In most other RPGs, or in a lot of other RPGs, I should say, if you try to describe something as being like kind of acrobatic or over the top or cinematic, you might start to impose some drawbacks. In Exalted, you actually get a bonus for that. Basically, when you describe your action, I will encourage you to describe what you want to do before you roll the dice, because the more accurately, the more dynamically, the more cinematically you can describe your action, the better you're going to do at it. It comes in 3 points. A 1-point stunt is worth 2 extra dice on the roll. A 2-point stunt is worth 2 extra dice and an automatic success. And a 3-point stunt is worth 2 extra dice and 2 automatic successes on the roll. So it is go big or go home. All right, and that is going to be ape number 1. Okay. And ape number 2. Right. Okay, cool. So because you happen to be right there as they were charging in there, Zeke, I am going to give you that. I will give you that first action. So you want to stab? You're basically going to try to stab upward with the mightier sword.
Yeah. So, I mean, I imagine it's a fairly big sword, so it's kind of.
Oh, it's technically a spear, actually.
Okay.
Because it's a, if you, like I said, if you think of it as a fountain, it's called the mightier sword because it's a pen. Pen is mightier than the sword.
Is it crashing through like head, torso first, and then like legs coming behind, or is it like curled up in a ball coming in feet? And
it's kind of like it's kind of cannonballing through
cannonballing. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like, so it's doing the whole like arms up and like through the window kind of thing.
So I want to take the pen and kind of jab it into the gut and then like the midsection.
Yeah.
So that it keeps going in and kind of gets stuck on the like catch him in a sense in the mid cannonball and kind of try to force him back out.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll. Dexterity plus melee. I'll give you 2 points for 2 extra dice for the stunt on that.
All right.
1 point.
One, five.
5 successes. Okay.
Thank you, tens.
Okay. That is so you said sorry, you said 5 successes to hit?
5 successes, correct.
Okay. So go ahead and roll damage,
Okay.
which I believe I put the damage on the character sheet for you for
All right. So it says ACC +1.
don't worry about that. That's
Okay.
that's for the attack roll. That's accuracy.
Okay, so then next time I would roll one more die with that, then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Damage says +16.
Yep. That's that for. Hold on. That sounds about right for an artifact weapon.
Okay.
Because yeah, that's you're you are rocking what is what is usually referred to as a dire lance,
All right.
and that is they are known for hitting hard.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's going to be the damage of the weapon plus your strength. However, so the way we're going to calculate damage here, it's you take the damage of the weapon, add your strength, and then we are going to subtract dice equal to the creature's soak.
Okay. So what does the creature soak?
That's what I'm looking up right now. That creature, this guy's soak is 7.
Oh, good. If you
So-
said anything lower than a 6, I would have had to grab more dice.
Oh, this is Exalted. You will need to grab more dice.
Yep.
Online roller.
Yeah, absolutely. I wait
my
for
backup.
for this game. I know a lot of people say like, "Oh, don't use dice rollers. Don't use dice rollers." This game, I cannot blame you for using a dice roller.
This is my backup bag.
Oh.
Dice
Oh.
of the dice that are not already
Hold
currently laid out.
So I have a bunch of dice already laid out myself. Because I am an Exalted player, and you just heard it, Ralph. This is all my D10. Like I keep all of my D10s separate because I know I'm going to need most of them. There are jokes abounding the internet about Exalted, and like the minimum required like amount of D10s you need for it. It's like 5-gallon buckets, 50-gallon oil drums, bathtubs, dump trucks full of D10s. Like, yeah, you need a ton of dice for this game. Use an online roller. I'm not going to criticize you for it.
I got 5 successes.
All right, 5 successes. That's pretty good.
Oh wait, it's 7. All right, no, I got 8. I got 6 successes. I'm so used to story path.
Yep. All right, 6 successes. So that's. Okay. All right, and as these two apes come, you try to push him back. You don't manage to push him all the way out, but you do he does sort of like tumble against the wall underneath this stained glass window.
All right.
Sort of rolls over some of the glass that he broke, but then like sort of gets back up to his feet. These things are wild creatures. Like, I mean, they're intelligent, but they are wild creatures, and they are here to fuck shit up. So that brings it to the top of the order is Sir Strudel.
Perfect. So Sir Strudel's not used to combat situations, but he's gonna go for it. He's
You
gonna like
can-
summon like
You can feel like with your exaltation, you can feel like there's an element of I know kung fu to this. Like,
oh okay.
yeah, you are there's there is a certain martial arts acumen that sort of like you can feel how like your body flows with the essence and how everything sort of like flows in creation now.
Awesome.
But yeah, so go ahead.
Sir Strudel like leaps forward and he's gonna summon like three like donut pedestals with sprinkles on top. And he's gonna like jump on each one and he's going to go in. And as he goes to like swing his punch, like all the sprinkles will lift off the donut and then like crust his hand. And he's gonna go cloudy with a chance of sprinkles, and he's gonna punch the crap out of the other one.
Okay, so we're going to call this a charm to sort of amplify the thing because doing the actual like magical effect around it is super cool, and I mean once again encouraging that. So I'm going to have you spend a couple of points of essence. Essence is used very similar to like the way like MP is used in a lot of JRPGs, or mana is used in things like Diablo. It's magical. It's basically what fuels your magical abilities. If you run out of essence, you're in trouble. But you can also regain essence by stunting. So, so we are going to say that this mimics. There's a solar charm actually that does something very similar. Let me look that up real quick. Cloudy with a chance of sprinkles. Okay, so you're going to spend a single point of essence for this. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, it is still a single point of essence. And it's a number of dice equal to the current onslaught penalty. Okay. So go ahead and make an attack roll. You're going to be doing dexterity martial arts. And for the stunt, I'll call that a 2-point stunt. So go ahead and add 2 dice and an automatic success to the roll.
So that'll be 2 on the dice and an automatic success of 3.
Okay. So you come down. Oh, you said 3 actually. Oh, because he's actually got an onslaught penalty too. Because actually, excuse me. Which one are you attacking? Are you attacking the one that Zeke already hit, or the other one?
The other one, trying to keep him away from the people.
Okay. So he's able to hop out of the way, actually. So you come down and your hand crashes into the floor, and the dough that sort of formed around your hand shatters and sort of dissipates into the air, as those pedestals that you created also sort of melt away. So you missed. No change there. Which brings us to that first ape that Zeke attacked. Zeke, he did not like that you tried to fend him off. So he's going to charge right at you and try to take a swing.
Do I get a dodge roll?
It is not a roll necessarily. Basically, you get to choose how you want to try to defend against this. You can either evade or parry.
How big are these things again?
About 10 feet tall. 8
About-
8 to 10 feet
okay.
tall.
All right. I'm gonna try to. So as it's coming in, I'm gonna try. I guess it's charging to evade because it's gonna come in and kind of plant a foot and take a swing, or is it doing just a running, like clothesline swing?
It's basically trying to go for that. It's the big JBL clothesline from hell kind of thing.
Okay. So what I'm going to attempt to do is use the pen to kind of pole vault in, because I'm not 8 to 10 feet tall, but with add the 6-foot pen in my hand, I could probably pole vault and try to kick it in the face is what I would like to do. But if that's not possible, just pole vault over it.
A kick in the face would be possible with a charm.
Okay, I mean, we
If,
are.
if you would like to try to flavor it in a way that sort of somehow coincides with your deity, with the goddess of graffiti, um, we can work because like honestly, a lot of the charms I'm going to be pulling like rules wise, I'm going to be pulling from a lot of the solar charms and things like solar counterattack exists. Um,
I'm going to change that up. So I'm going to pole vault over it, flip in the air, and kind of do a somersault flip thing and land on its back.
Land on its back. Okay. Um, okay. Well, first off, let me see if it can hit you. Let's see. 6, 8, 11 dice. All right, and what's your evasion? Should be at the
Evasion is 4.
your evasion is 4. The stunt you gave, I will give you a +1 on your evasion. And you managed to pole vault right over him. You don't have enough to land on his back and keep grappling, but we'll get to that on your next turn. You can try that again. But yeah, he missed. Which brings us to Arrhenius. You're muted.
Yeah. So considering we can create our own charms, which is going to be fun, Irenaeus is basically going to pull out 2 arrows of the newly acquired quiver, place them on the arrow string and shoot them. And as they shoot, they turn in tiny little ghosts that basically phase through the person that's being aimed at. And once they come out, they have chains to them so that once the arrows hit the ground or wood or anything like that, it kind of holds the person in place so that somebody else can land a punch or whatever with said creature.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna call that. We're gonna call that a decisive attack.
Yeah.
To see if that hits. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll dexterity archery.
Yep. Four successes.
4 successes. Sorry, actually, you know what? It doesn't matter which one you're attacking. Either way, you hit it because they've both been attacked, so they have an onslaught penalty, meaning their defense is 1 lower. But which one are you going for?
I'm going for the one that's attacking
Sir Strudel?
Sir Strudel. That was it.
Okay. So that is going. That connects. We'll say that's. We'll call that a three essence charm. Three
Yeah.
points of essence to use that. And that was a decisive attack, so it is going to reset your initiative to 3 for the next turn. Right, but so you let these arrows fly, and as they sort of the 2 of them get stuck in his chest, but the ghosts that are attached to them keep going, and you can hear like the chastising and the guilt that are sort of traveling with them as they sort of come out the back of them, and these trails of smoke sort of from the back of the blood ape and end in these two ghosts go flying down into the floor and just hold on to it, and the ghost and the chains of smoke turn into these sort of spectral chains, keeping him in place. He's not going anywhere, at least for a turn or two.
Yep.
But it is now that ape's turn. It is going to try to. It is going to try to break out of the chains. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dice to do that. And as it sort of it strains and pulls and finally gets its arms underneath the chains, and then just with one huge push presses them up as the chains sort of dissipate and evaporate into the smoke. And with that, it turns to you, Arrhenius, and leaps at you. With using one of its charms, the brutal ape pounce. It is going to make. It's going to try to attack you. That was 10, 11. 2, 4, 6. Oof. Oh God! Why can't I roll this well when I'm a player? Why does it always end up being like I'm gonna be the mean DM with what? That is 2, 4, 6, 8. 9. That's 10 successes on the attack roll.
It is what it is. I'm gonna try to evade him. Basically, as he pounces at me, kind of just run at him, try to dive under him on where he lands, and just slide so that I end up at his back.
Okay, what's your evasion?
3.
Yeah, and any
Yeah, no,
that's 10 successes is a lot.
I know.
That was 10 successes on 11 dice, so that is it was a really good roll. I will say that it is gonna. I will call that a 1-point stunt, so we'll add 1 point to your evasion for that. So it is going to mitigate a little bit of the damage, but that's going to be. It's going to be 6 plus. Oh, that's that. Do I need to get more dice out? And what is your soak?
2.
2.
This is fine.
If you okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17, 18, 19. All right. 19 dice, and watch this. It's all ones. One, 2, 3, 4. That could have gone way worse for you. So that is going to do. It is going to do. It's only doing 4 damage. And actually, that means the brutal 8 pounce doesn't work. Because normally, so the brutal 8 pounce, the attack that I was going to do, it specifically says if the blood ape deals 5+ damage to an enemy with this withering attack, that character is knocked prone. If the initiative damage brought them below the demon's initiative, the blood ape may pay a point of willpower to reflexively make a decisive attack against them. The reflexive attack power of this charm can only be used once per fight unless reset by landing 3 successful withering attacks. So It did bring you below his initiative though, because that puts you at -4 initiative. You are in initiative crash. And that actually brings his initiative, and puts it up to 6. That puts it up to 11, actually. So he wasn't able to knock you prone. But I am gonna have him spend that point of willpower to make that decisive attack against you.
Yep.
Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And he missed.
Hey, the gods watch over me.
So you basically what happened is you slide and he dives at you, or he dives at you. You tried to slide to get under him. You didn't slide quite far enough, and he was able to get on top of you and just sort of like just starts pounding on you, but not hard at like. But this isn't like this is just sort of like to tenderize you a little bit, and then in one final like raises both hands up and lets out this brutal demonic yell, and at that moment, a pair of ghostly or like 4 ghostly hands grabs you by the shoulders and pulls you away like 5 feet away as both of these hands just come crashing down into the stone floor, leaving a crater. But that means also he is back down to 3 initiative because that was a decisive attack. So we're back to the top of the order. But the top of the order has changed because everyone has done stuff to affect their initiative. So Zeke, you're going first.
Okay.
You currently have 12 initiative.
All right. So the one that's only got, or I guess the one that's closest to me is the one I'm gonna go at. So its back is still technically to me since I kind of jumped over and kind of just didn't kind of landed, kind of figured it bounced off. Like I wasn't like really holding on much. I still have the pen in my hand. So, want to try to take it. This time I'm going to try to do the pole vault instead of going over, kind of like donkey, using the pen to kind of propel myself up so that I could donkey kick him in the face.
Okay.
Or the back of the head if he doesn't turn around fast enough.
We'll say that he's sort of like turning around so you can get him like either right under the chin or like right at, like sort of across the across the mush.
I'll use this as a decisive action.
We're going decisive here. Okay, so in that case, I'm just going to have you roll dexterity plus melee, no accuracy for the weapon.
Dexterity plus melee. That is 4.
4 successes. So as you sort of you push yourself up, he tries to like put his hand up to block it, but you are able to sort of almost defying the laws of physics as you've understood them in your mortal life until today. You sort of swerve underneath it and come right up under the chin and knock him skyward. There's not going to be any bonus, not going to be any threshold damage on it. So go ahead and roll 12 dice for damage. Normally you would have to roll enough dice worth of damage to overcome their hardness. Fortunately, Blood Apes have 0 hardness.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. Excuse me. 8 damage. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. You. There is a thunderclap as your foot connects with his chin. And you hit him with enough force so that he leaves the ground a couple of feet. He doesn't quite somersault, but he definitely leaves the ground a couple of feet and then crashes onto his back. And is in that has that dazed moment of, did anyone get the name of the truck that just hit me? He is crawling painfully to his feet. Not down yet, but he's alive, but he's not happy about it. That brings us to Sir Strudel. It is your turn.
Perfect. Well, I think Sir Strudel is going to, yeah, Sir Strudel is going to run over to hopefully get this blood ape away from my friend. He seems like he's getting pressed quite a bit by him. So Sir Strudel will run over and he'll come with like a flying kick from the back and try and knock him away from my friend. It's Irenaeus?
Arrhenius, yeah.
I'll do a withering attack on him.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and roll with an unarmed attack. That's going to be dexterity plus martial arts.
Okay. Four successes.
4 successes. That'll hit. So roll your strength with 4 successes. With Go ahead and roll your strength plus 3 dice. The reason you're adding the 3 dice, just for the sake of the rules and everybody at home, whenever you roll, make an attack roll higher than the target, than the number that you're trying to hit, those successes get converted into damage for your on the attack. So if you roll, and normally his evasion, the Blood Ape's evasion is 2, but because he's trying to fight 2 opponents at the same time, he has what's called an onslaught penalty, equal to basically it's a -1 for each additional opponent he has. So his evasion is only 1. You rolled 4 successes, so that means those 3 extra successes that you got above the evasion are going to get carried over into your damage roll.
5 damage then.
5 damage. All right. That worked. That worked out really well for you, because that is going to send him into a status known as Initiative Crash, because he's at -2. And what that means is not only do you gain the 5 points of initiative that you normally would have, but because you were the one that put him into that crash, you get an additional 5 initiative. So you're going to be at 19 initiative next turn. All right. Now that was Sir Strudel. Now we have the other ape's turn, the one that is seeing stars. He sort of crawls up to his feet, is looking kind of wobbly, and is going to try to take a massive swing at you, Zeke. But he's very wobbly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is. How do you want to defend against this? Parry or dodge? Parry or evade?
We're going to be parrying with the mightier sword.
Okay. So what's your parry?
Parry is 4.
4? Oh yeah. No, you he comes he's tries to do a big sort of downward rabbit punch and you block it. How do you block it with the mightier sword?
So we're gonna do like swing at the arm, so it's kind of an overextension. So if he's coming down over on top, hitting the side of his arm, so that he still comes down. He just misses. He, swings wide.
Sure. So you swat you basically you do a quick stab at the side of his arm, and the fist goes right into the floor, and it seems to be stuck there actually. Uh, and finally, Arrhenius, your turn.
I'm in initiative crash. Am I not?
You are in initiative crash. It means you can't make decisive attacks. Uh, but that's you are in initiative, so you are considered to you can't make decisive attacks, and you are considered to be hardness 0. So if you were to you were to take a decisive attack right now, you would be up shit creek.
Yeah. So in that case, I'm just gonna unleash a flurry of arrows at the one right in front of me, while
Okay.
still laying on the floor, kind of hoping to weather him down and to keep him occupied enough that somebody else can finish him off.
Sure. All right. Go ahead and roll. Make an attack roll for me. Which oh, and you are at we're considered at close range for this. 'Cause archery weapons have weird accuracy. Actually, no, because the with Strudel attacking, it would have moved out to short range. So yeah, go ahead and with that +5 accuracy on for a short range attack.
That's 5 actually, so that's 5 extra dice.
Yep.
Six successes.
6 successes. That's pretty good. Um,
I think he's considered at hardness 0 as well because he's in an initiative crash.
um, that he is. Um, 6 successes to hit. So, and he also has the onslaught penalty. So, all right, go ahead and roll damage with 5 threshold dice.
So that's 7 on the first 9.
On the first 9. Yep. Welcome to Exalted.
10 successes total.
10 successes total. All right. That's going to put you up to a 9 initiative for the next turn. Which, yeah, no, this is gonna be a fun turn. This is gonna be the beatdown turn. So yeah, that brings us back to the top of the order, which in this case means Sir Strudel, you're going first.
Hell yeah. So Sir Strudel's going to compliment Arrhenius by basically like putting his hands in the air, and he's going to try, maybe this will probably be a charm, but summon a large Simpson style pink donut with sprinkles on top, and is going to bring this giant donut crashing down on the currently arrow filled Blood.
Okay. Um,
And he'll say, I do not think you can handle this, just for added psychic damage.
all
Friendly
right.
fire, friendly fire.
We'll say so. Let's see what. All right. if we're summoning if we are summoning elemental donuts, I'm gonna take a look at another book. Because so the different types of exalted bring different sort of things with them. Solars, generally speaking, they have the ability to. They basically do everything that we can do, just better. So it makes you stronger, faster, more agile, smarter, more charming, what have you. When you're starting to do like summoning elemental effects, you're getting into dragon blooded. They are the element benders of the world. So in that case, let me. There's got to be like some kind of like dragon blooded throne charm that just sort of drops a rock on them or something. Uh, all right. We'll say that this is going to be a four mote charm. So you're going to spend 4 points of essence.
Okay.
And go ahead and make a decisive attack for me.
Sounds good. Would it be strength thrown?
We'll yeah, we'll call this one strength thrown.
Okay. And what happens when I lose all like I've used my essence?
Um, that is a fantastic question because usually when you run out of essence, I mean, it means well, I mean number one. So I should point out you have two different pools of essence, personal and peripheral. You can use as much personal essence as you want, and there will be no adverse effects. Using peripheral essence is there it comes with the side effect of having your anima banner increase. Basically, the more you use your peripheral essence, the more obvious it is that you are exalted. The more of a light show you start to put on. This is a drawback mostly because in the world of creation, any sort of exalted besides the dragon blooded are seen as demons that need to be eliminated. This largely has to do with the religion of creation. However, given the state of things right now, it being being bombarded by demons and an exalted seemingly leading them, you have bigger fish to fry at the moment.
Well, I guess because my personal says 13, so I have 13 to spend.
Yes.
Oh, okay. In that case, I didn't max out. I thought it was just the 3, 4, 5 essence bar.
Oh no! That's that is your permanent essence. You have three different forms: permanent, personal, and peripheral. Permanent is like that one dot. That's you. That means you are the. That's, for lack of a better term, your level. Like you would call yourself in other games you would say like, oh, a level one, whatever. That's essence one is basically that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, your pool of essence is your points. That's which is right underneath that on the character sheet.
Perfect. 4 successes for the decisive strike.
4 successes. All right. Um, let's see. So that overcomes the hardness. Go ahead and make a go ahead and roll damage on that.
Okay.
Which so that's going to be I'm gonna give you for that charm. We'll say that's going to add an extra 5 damage on that. So go ahead and roll 25 dice for the damage.
25.
25, yes.
Okay, dice roller, come through. So
Yep.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
10
11,
6.
12,
Nope.
13, 14, 15.
15 damage. Oh, the this donut. The donut that you created is magnificent. It is it like if it like it is not only is it large enough to crush a blood ape, but it almost looks like magnificently summoned. Like this is a perfect quality. Like you have never seen a donut this good, like this perfect in your life. And it comes down, and there is a sickening splat as it crushes the blood ape. And it's and the splat even continues with crunching bones and the usual. You basically made roadkill out of him with a donut. So that took care of that's one blood ape down. And that's going to put you at 3 theoretically next time. Irenaeus, it is your turn.
Well, I know that the pen is mightier than the sword is still working hard, so I'm gonna pepper that blood ape with some arrows as well.
Okay, another withering attack.
Do I get 5 dice bonus for that one as well, or?
Yeah, that's still close range or short range, I should say. As much and I'm I know I'm singing along with this music that's playing in my headphones, and unfortunately it's super copyrighted. Otherwise, I would be sharing it with y'all. I have my own Exalted playlist going at the moment.
7 successes.
7 successes. Oh yeah, that super hits. So go ahead and roll damage with 5 threshold dice. Excuse me, 6 threshold dice.
Nine successes.
9 successes. Oh yeah, you let a few arrows fly, and he's trying to put his arm up to block it with some of the more armored bits. It's only so good, and because he's got the other arm sort of stuck in the floor, and trying to maneuver around that and maneuver around Zeke. He is not in a good place. You said how many successes was that again?
9.
9. Okay, that's going to put him into initiative crash. And that's going to give you, let's see, 18 plus
9, 27.
27, yep. There you go. And with that, that brings us to Zeke. It is your turn.
So if I use my weapon as a decisive attack, I still get the weapon's damage with the right.
No, that's only for withering attacks. Decisive, you're only using your initiative as damage.
And I'm at like initiative 3 because I just used a decisive attack, aren't I?
Yeah. But remember, if you stunt it, you can potentially add some threshold dice to it if you roll high enough on the attack roll.
So I'm gonna pepper it with some kind of like quick jab moves to keep it off target, and then spin, twirl, and bring down the ink, the pen, stabbing it with the pen,
Yep.
and as a charm, injecting this thing with ink that I imagine does some sort of poison, other negative effect on it.
All right. Okay, go ahead and and as a decisive attack, you
Yeah,
said.
I'm gonna do that as a decisive.
Okay, so go ahead and make the attack roll, and I will give you. I'll give you 2 points, 2 extra dice for the stunt.
Okay, so that is. That is 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. All right. So go ahead and you're gonna roll 3 dice. You're gonna roll 6 dice for damage.
All right.
And I'll let you know right now. You need a single success in order to get this guy. He's already like the way he has a massive penalty right now because of the amount of damage he's taken.
Yeah.
He's basically 1 damage away from just down.
Oh, you got 2 more than that, so.
Alrighty. So if you'll pardon my borrowing of another popular GM's phrase, how do you want to do this?
Just kind of basically as I described it. So he's gonna kind of like just smack him a couple times to
Yeah.
kind of find an opening, pick it up, twirl it around with a fleur, come down, double hands right into the neck,
Right into the neck.
and then just kind of uses the charm, and it just kind of the ink just kind of flows through and spreads out into his
Not so
system.
you can see like the ink sort of like spread into his veins, and like as it go like everything just sort of like bleed like it as like it stops moving basically. At the same time, you can see the well of ink in this pen start to fill with this sort of it goes from this like pure blue black of like a pen's ink into this brackish greenish black as the creature's blood seems to be mixing with the ink.
Oh, that's certainly going to give me a new color palette to work with.
All right. We are going to take a quick bio break as you folks have dispatched these blood apes for us. And after that, we're going to see about venturing into Great Forks to see if we can stop the source of this demon invasion. So hang out, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. See you then. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining us. We're playing. For those of us that just joined us, evidently with a raid that we missed as we went. We took a quick bio break. We're playing Exalted. We have an all Exigents game. I think they've been people have been sharing the link for it in the chat. Yeah, it's. Is it available on Drive Through RPG now? Oh, awesome. I wasn't sure if it had been officially released yet. Yeah, so this is the Exigent Splat for Exalted 3rd Edition. And our heroes just beat up a couple of blood apes that had tried to attack a temple. While the city of temples, Great Forks, has been under attack by a woman leading an army of demons into it. So, you've defended the celebrants from the blood apes. What's your next move?
First, get them out of here, and then make our way back to where we saw them all being summoned to see if the woman leading the church is still there, and see what we can do to get her out of town.
Alrighty. So, you head outside, and you can see the streets are crawling with demons. Chasing down mortals, being the forces of evil that they're generally understood to be. I should also point out that demons in Exalted are not the typical, like, we're not talking like Baelor's pit fiends, like the sort of Tolkien-inspired demons. They take every shape imaginable. Like I said, we just fought some blood apes. There are Neoma, which are these, they're known as flesh crafters. There are, what are they called? There's one that looks like basically just a tornado with random limbs sort of flailing out from it at random intervals. Those giant insects that our villain rode in on are known as Agata. There's all kinds of creatures. Every shape, color, and flavor imaginable. Although I probably should not have said they have flavor around the donut guy. Demon Donuts. It's that's the next franchise in creation. Gives Bear Claw, like, yo, you think Bear Claws are intense?
Check out this charm.
Yeah. that I just gave you an idea for a charm, didn't I? Bear Claws. The Agata Rider woman has flown away from the obelisk where all the celebration was originally centered around, and now seems to be sitting atop the central temple of the City of Temples, which is the home of the gods that founded Great Forks, who I should remember their names off the top of my head, but of course I don't. No. Great Forks, City of Gods and Spirits. Was it the Thearchs? I think it was the Thearchs. Yes, it's Tailspinner, Dreamweaver, and Dayshield. They are the sort of the governing body of Great Forks, as well as the three deities that founded the city. Dayshield is a god of defensive warfare, deception, and forgetfulness. Dreamweaver is a god of dreams, war, and looms, and Tailspinner is a god of wanderers and storytellers. Which, wow, given the fact that we've got two war gods here, that's this city should be able to defend itself pretty damn well. And yet here we are. There are Agata crawling over various sides of the building, trying to sort of find each way in. Trying to find their own way in, and there are various like but you can see them like sort of falling off whenever they get to a particular wall. So, at the very least, it seems like the Thearchs are doing their best to defend their primary temple, but they are it's a losing battle that they're fighting. So, what do you guys want to do? You guys are going to have to navigate through this streets in order to get there, but getting there should you can get there. How do you want to navigate these streets?
So I know that there are charms for the nightcast that allow me, well, not nightcast, but dexterity based that or athletics based that I can basically run up a wall and then just quickly navigate over narrow ledges and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what Irenaeus is going to do. Just straight up run up the wall and then over the roofs and then like cut out the path towards where the main combat is, and depending on how the other two are following him, stopping once in a while to give them directions on how to navigate, because possibly better overview on top of the roofs than they would have in the streets.
Okay. All right. So Irenaeus is going hardcore parkour. Um, Zeke Strudel.
As Exalt of a graffiti god, can I draw a door that would just transport me right there? Is that a charm that I could somehow use?
Maybe eventually that's kind of that would be a higher level one. That wouldn't be a starting one. Like you'd be able to draw a door that could like go through the wall that you were drawing it on, but like probably not that would like sort of fold space like that. Um, if you wanted, you could make a charm that like could draw a like glider or something like that. A rudimentary sort of flying machine, maybe not full blown like airplane kind of thing, but like at least some kind of
A hang glider and
yeah,
yeah,
that sort of
all right,
thing.
yeah. Um, I will draw that.
Okay. Go ahead and we'll say that that's
I'm guessing craft.
yeah. We'll make that a craft roll. We'll call that a intelligence craft.
All right, and then what does the specialty in painting do?
It adds an extra die to the roll.
That is 3 successes.
3 successes. All right. All right. So that means I'll say that this item will last for 30 minutes.
Okay. Actually, Can I climb up to a roof first before I draw this so that I
Yeah.
can glide?
Oh yeah. Of course.
So then I'll just glide. Use that.
All right.
And I'll draw another one for anybody else who wants one.
Oh, I got an idea.
All right. Strudel.
So Sir Strudel kind of watches these two like immediately disappear. So I think he's gonna like run back inside, grab his big massive donut he summoned, and like hop on it like a tire and like run on it to like propel himself forward.
I'm really glad I came up with this character now.
Fun.
Okay, so all right, Irenaeus, go ahead and roll dexterity athletics to try to parkour your way over the roofs.
Dexterity.
Do I
Yeah.
do I get bonuses for charms and stuff like that?
Um, uh, let me see. Hold on a second.
So if I'm not mistaken, they had that one charm.
Mm. Um, actually, you know what? Using that charm means you don't have to roll, basically, because it's effectively the same as monkey leap technique, which is that's what monkey leap technique says.
Yeah,
It's like go for like parkour to your heart's content. You don't have to
yeah,
roll. It's
yeah,
you are just that awesome at it. It's although to flavor it according to your deity's domain, it's one of those things like you jump like what you think is going to be like you like as you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop, you get about like halfway close to one, and then you're about to fall a little bit, but then like a ghost kind of shows up and gives you like 10 fingers and vaults you back up onto the
yeah,
next rooftop. And it's almost more like it almost becomes more like brachiation, because like you'll jump out like and reach a hand out, and there'll be a ghost hand to sort of catch you and swing you onto the next
yeah.
thing. Uh, Strudel, you are going to try to pilot your massive donut through the streets of Great Forks. Okay,
Yes.
so this is one of my favorite things about Exalted is you can come up with the most batshit stuff like combination rolls. I'm gonna have you roll Dexterity Ride.
Dexterity ride.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you are attempting to effectively pilot a vehicle.
Are there any penalties to not having any dice in ride?
There is no penalty,
Okay.
but it means it's just gonna be a straight Dexterity roll.
We got this. One success.
One success. Okay, you you managed to get on top of this thing, and you sort of uh, doing the whole like sort of backward running thing. Backward running is not particularly intuitive for anybody, but you're going to give it a shot. You get it out there, and you roll. You get about a block. It's 3 blocks from here to uh, the central temple. You get about a block before a couple of those limb tornadoes show up to basically to and will actually one of those limbs will come out and with this wicked claw just sort of rips into that donut and it crumbles and sending you sprawling onto the ground.
How dare they?
Um, and there are okay. I'm looking at the time and trying to factor in that too. So what's going to happen? We're gonna do a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina, because I am a little bit bummed that nobody picked that fourth character that I made. We're gonna have him show up as a DM NPC, DMPC rather. These limb tornadoes are sort of coming in to surround you, when all of a sudden above you you hear rabbit, and this massive frog lands in front of you between basically blocking you and these limb tornadoes. On top of that frog is a woman wearing a this green wearing a green suit of like chainmail kind of thing, but it's very fine chain. And wielding a sword and a shield that looks like a lily pad, in the shape of a lily pad. And she says, "Stay behind me. These things are nuts." The frog then says, "Oh, I don't know. I've seen worse in my day."
Oh, didn't know frogs could speak.
Oh, this one can. I'm pleasure to meet you. Now, if you'll excuse us, and they actually together they will charge at these the limb tornadoes with the same kind of like vertical leap that sort of they do it as a horizontal thing, as like a sort of a battle charge kind of thing. Um, do you want to help the frog paladin, or do you want to keep heading towards the temple?
I have to do my best. So I think he will pull out a singular donut from his pocket and he'll throw it and he'll use another charm to maybe multiply the donuts like a Naruto when they like make the kunai or whatever, like multiply, he'll do like that to make like a probably a baker's dozen.
Okay, go ahead. We'll say that's spend 5 motes for that,
Okay.
and make a thrown attack roll, dexterity thrown.
Perfect. Will Mighty Throw come in here?
No, that's for throwing big things.
Okay.
That's it's mighty thew. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's basically for it increases your ability to perform feats of strength, basically letting you like lift super heavy things.
Six successes on my end.
Six
And sounds good.
successes. All right. Um, so you throw a donut, and it reaches the apex of its arc and then multiplies and starts raining down as a distraction, basically as a distraction, reducing the initiative of uh, these limb tornadoes. And you can hear the frog, like watching these donuts rain down, go, "Oh my!" Yes, everybody in the chat has pointed out this frog is voiced by George Takei. Um, and the yeah. So, is that going to be your addition to this fight, and then heading off towards the primary temple?
Yes.
Okay. Um, we'll say that you are able to navigate your way through the streets and get up on top of the get up. Where are Speaking of which, actually, Zeke and Irenaeus, where are you landing? Are you going to land on the roof there with the Demon Queen lady?
I mean,
I'm not just planning on landing on the roof. I'm gonna try to either let go so that like I kick her, or if I can't fly into her that way, I'll let it go so that the glider flies into her and hits her.
Okay. Um.
Rinius is going to land on the far edge of the roof so that he can pepper her with arrows.
Okay. Um. I would like you to roll, Zeke. I would like you to roll a dexterity stealth for me.
Dexterity and stealth. Okay. Urban environment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a city.
One, two, three, four. 4 successes.
How many successes? Sorry.
4.
4 successes. Um, all right. You managed to angle the glider just right so that it dive bombs her.
Yeah.
It's not going to do any damage, but it is going to sort of throw her off her game. Like she's trying to she's just doing the full supervillain thing, just sort of like cackling, like, ah ha ha, it's only a matter of time before I get what. Okay, and now of course she's going to have the Catherine Hepburn voice, which is completely different from the voice she had before. But this is where we live now, so
Bitch, respect the arts. He'll say that just before to get her attention, so she turns
yep.
around and gets smacked in the face with the glider.
It knocks her off her wasp mount. But she does land on it. She does get the superhero landing to look and to see where that came from, and sees both of you.
I was going to say, if she lands, I want to pepper her with arrows.
If you will allow me a moment to monologue.
Of course.
What the hell are you supposed to be?
Me? I'm just a messenger of death.
Oh yeah. So you get a lot of messages then, do you? Because that's coming for you quite soon.
No, I'm just sending them to you. Return to sender, you know?
All right. So with that, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Zeke and Irenaeus roll join battle for me.
That's 6 dice, right?
Wits plus awareness, basically.
Yeah, so it says down below for me, it says basically already joint battle is 6 dice.
Yeah, I can't remember which ones I added the numbers into or not,
Yeah.
but it's pretty. Like I said, it's wits plus awareness.
Oh no.
4 for me.
4 on the dice.
Yep. No, four successes in total.
Yep. Zeke.
Oh no.
1. And just a peek behind my own DM screen, I am using one of the pre-created characters from the Lunars book for this one. It did not show up because of the background, so good luck figuring out which one. There it is. Oof. Oof. All right, Arenas, you're going first.
Basically, just shoot arrows. And I think I get a +5 bonus, right?
You're a little bit farther away this time, so this is
Yeah.
going to be a +3 accuracy bonus, I think. Because it's going to be considered medium range.
Yep. Five successes.
I'm sorry?
5 successes, sorry.
5 successes. Okay. Oh, that, she has this whip that basically that she takes out and is basically trying to like deflect most of them. But there is one that sort of catches her in the shoulder and that makes her stop her, defensive display. So that is going to hit. No threshold dice though.
7 successes.
Oof! Wow! Holy shit! Okay. Um, that is actually going to put her into initiative crash. 'Cause
There you
I,
S-
go.
you know how many successes I rolled on the dice?
nice. So that gives me a plus 14 for next round of initiative.
That actually puts you at a 19 for next turn of initiative.
I'll take it.
Zeke, it is your turn.
So Zeke is gonna do like a bunch of like psych out moves. So like gonna spin the pen his mighty like above his head, twirl it around, and then come down and like swing and like just smack her in the leg.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make that attack roll for me. I'll give you 2 dice for the stunt.
2 dice for the stunt, and that's dexterity and melee, right?
Yes.
One, two, 3 successes.
3 successes. Uh, she actually, as she has her whip lowered, and actually flicks it out and wraps it around the mightier sword, and so it just sort of keeps that as deflects it with that. So missed. And now it is her turn. She's going to flip that around. She's going to try to basically stab it into the ground by the pointed end, and quickly uncurl it, spin it around her head, and then crack you on. Try to like sort of crack you around the torso with her whip.
Okay.
And how do you want to try to defend against this?
So she's got the whip, and she's trying to use the whip to force it down, and then pull the whip back up.
Yeah, basically, as soon as it's in the ground, she undoes it so that she can hit you with the whip.
Okay. I'm
So
going
you could effectively pick it back up and then block with it again.
I'm going to kind of lean into it, so that it's not in the place that she wants when she's trying to pull it back up.
All right.
So that she's not able to unwrap the whip.
Okay, so that's going to be a parry.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and what's your parry?
4.
Okay, she is going to be able to get a hit off on you.
That bitch.
No threshold damage, though, so. A glancing blow at best. One. But not enough to get her out of initiative crash, because that's going to be 2 damage to you.
So does that put me down into initiative crash since I was at initiative of 1?
No, you're right. So when you roll for your initiative, you actually add 3 automatic successes on to whatever you rolled. So basically, when you rolled 1 success on your thing, you actually started with 4.
So now I'm down to 2.
You're currently down to 2. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start a new round, and with that, I'm going to have Strudel go ahead and roll join combat for me, because you at this point you would have joined the melee.
I imagine he runs around the corner out of breath. Like, what the hell? So that will be 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, so that's going to put you at a 6. Right? It was 3 on the dice?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Irenaeus, it is your turn. You're muted again.
Mute myself. So we're gonna continue peppering her with arrows because it kind of gives the rest of the team an advantage.
Sure. Oh, one thing that is going to happen before the round starts, though, is that this demon woman is she's going to whistle, and when she does, you hear the drone of uh, massive wasps coming in. We've got a couple of Agata incoming.
That's fine. If we take her out quick enough, we should be good. 5 successes to hit.
5 successes to hit. Yeah, that'll hit her.
I think she's at hardness 0, so that gives me +4.
Or are you doing a decisive attack? Or
No. Withering.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, hardness doesn't affect withering attacks.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that...
it will affect her soak will affect it though, which I forgot to apply last time.
So that's +4. 17.
So, how much? So how many dice are you rolling for it?
17 dice in total.
Okay, you're actually going to remove 5 because, like I said, I forgot to apply soak last time.
Oh,
so.
okay. So hold on, let me. But that's puts me at 12 dice. Okay. Seven successes.
7 successes. Jesus. All right, that's going to put you at 26 for the next round. And her at -9. And give me just a second, because all right. So as you fire some more arrows, trying to keep her locked down, you see what she was summoning, the Agata. As a couple of them have broken off from the rest of the swarm and are now moving in towards you guys. One of them is going now. Oh, they changed around the abilities of the Agata quite a bit, actually. Um, all right. Okay. One of them is going to fly at you, Irenaeus. And it's flying at you, Stinger, first.
That's expected, yeah.
All right. What is? How do you want to defend against this?
I kind of want to use parry, just put the bow forward and have its the stinger slide off me, and as it slides past me, so that I can set up shooting at it the next round.
Um, you actually can't. To the best of my understanding, you can't parry with a bow.
Then it's going to be evasion.
This be evasion. All right. What is your evasion?
Three, but basically the same idea, just using the bow as the guidance for me to just sidestep it and then lining up the shot for the next round.
Okay. Um, all right. That is going to connect. Uh, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2. Oh, sorry. What's your soak?
Soak is two.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's cocked. All right. That's going to be. You're gonna take 7 damage to your initiative.
Okay.
It's going to put you down to 19 for the next turn. All right, Strudel, it's your turn.
So Strudel like is gonna like give his like heroic monologue. You're like, I'm going to, and then he like runs out of breath again, and he'll be like, you know what, just okay, fine, fuck it. And he's gonna, I don't know if I can do this with a charm, but he wants to summon like a solid sized donut that's just encrusted with sprinkles. And I don't know if like you've seen everywhere all at once or everything everywhere all at once, where like they're trying to fight like the big bagel that's like a black hole essentially.
Yeah.
And he wants to like throw it behind her to like catch the wasps and her and like this black hole donut combination. Just to keep them in the same spot, like a gravity well almost.
Okay.
That might be
That's
too high. I
that's getting a little too high. Yeah. That's almost more of a sorcery effect than like what. That's a little bit stronger magic than what charms can pull off. Um. So yeah, no, that's not gonna you're not gonna be able to do that. I don't think.
Okay. I'll do the big pink Simpson donut then
All
from
right.
where I'm at, and then I'm gonna hurl it at her for like a giant object hurled at her.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll a dexterity thrown.
And it's a 5 essence for this, right? Is what we decided on.
Yes.
So if I use peripheral, it's like big flashy stuff, right?
Well, that means you're gonna start. You're gonna have a light show of sorts, which I don't know what exigent. Well, I mean, everything about exigents seems to be make it up. So, what sort of special effects happen when you start dipping into your peripheral essence?
Imagine like sprinkles would start falling from the sky, like rain. And maybe the smell of fresh baked goods, most likely.
Okay.
Here, I'll
Um,
get that.
let me see. Um, Anima. Most exigents are singular exalted, but some among them. All right. Um, all right. So, what did you roll for that already? Sorry, I was looking up
Yeah,
rules.
6 successes.
6 successes. Um, all right. So, and we said that was going to be a decisive attack.
Yes.
So, all right, go ahead and roll 6 dice for me.
Uh, 3 successes.
3 successes. All right. All right. So she sees it coming and tries to like put her hands up to block, and as she does, she sort of like breaks it like that, and you can tell like as she does it, like it was like kind of that cool moment, and then she just goes, "Ah, damn it!" So yeah, she is starting to take wound penalties. Now it's time for the other regatta. The other regatta is going to come towards Yuzik. And it is going to try to claw at you. Unless... Yeah, okay. It's the other one's gonna fly towards you, Zeke, and it's gonna try to claw at you.
Okay.
Do you want to try to parry or evade?
What kind of angle is it coming in? Like, because if I'm like facing her, is it coming from behind me? Is it coming from the side? Is it coming over her shoulder?
It's coming at you from your left side.
From my left side. Okay. I'm going to evade by stepping in closer to her.
Okay.
And my evasion is a 4.
Okay. The Agata sees you move and like it basically swipes with the right, but then goes to intercept with the left claw and catches you with its left. So that, but it only just hit you. 6, 9, 12, 14. One, two, three, 4. That is going to be. That's going to be 5 against your initiative.
Okay. And that's after my soak.
Oh, I forgot about the. What's your soak again?
3. I mean, either way, I was at initiative 2, so.
Yeah. I think that's going to put you at 0, which is again an initiative crash.
Yep.
Right. And that was right. That okay. All right. Back to the top of the order. Oh no, it's her turn. She gets the turn, doesn't she? Haha.
I haven't taken
you
a
haven't?
turn.
That's right. Yeah, you're sorry. Yep. There's a lot of bookkeeping involved in the in third edition initiative.
So yeah, it still is part of me trying to sweep in and step towards her. I'm just gonna again go high to make it look like I was trying to defend against the Agata, and then just kind of come in and sweep the legs.
All right. Okay. Go ahead and make the attack roll for me.
That is 4 successes.
4 successes. As she... that is going to hit with a threshold die.
All right. So then, weapon damage plus the threshold die
Yeah, plus your strength.
plus my strength. Any minuses?
Minus her... This is a withering attack, so minus her soak, which is...
Should be 0.
Oh, that would be the hard.
That's hard. Her hardness.
Oh,
is
or hardness.
her soak is 6, so you're going to remove 6 dice.
One, two, three, four, 5. 5 successes.
5 successes. All right. And that puts you up to 5. All right. All right. Now it is her turn. All right, let's see what I can do to make her a bit more of a credible threat. All right. She is going to turn to you, Zeke. And unleash a flurry of lashes in order to try to get you, at least get you away from her so that she can get the actual threat, which is the guy that's peppering her with arrows. So let's see. That's... and you can see she is... A symbol appears on her forehead as she's doing this. It is this faint green light. It's a sigil that doesn't look familiar to any of you.
Yomi, let's go.
It's, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I had to open my big mouth about rolling well for that one Blood Ape roll earlier, didn't I? That was 14 dice that I rolled for that. It was almost a botch. A single success saved that from being a botch. Anyway, which is almost
Going
worse.
through it.
What's that?
She's going through it right now.
Like, which, I mean, is almost worse. Like, if you're supposed to be if you're trying to be a credible threat, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys, she's rolling really well, and it's like, and then, like, the big boss, here we go, flips her whip, and then it just wraps around her own legs, and she ends up tripping herself.
Yeah, but that's what you get when you're siding with Yomi. It's
Yeah.
that simple. They give it and they take it.
Yeah, yep. But no, it was only one success. So it is you're way better than that. That I know any of your defenses are going to be able to beat that. And yeah, she's still languishing at minus 14 initiative. All right. So back to the top of the order. after all that, it's Irenaeus.
Considering I set myself up for a shot at the Agata that just decided to see if I was a puncture material, I'm gonna shoot at them.
Okay, cool. That is going to be that is close range, so
Yeah.
that's going to be oh, actually, you know what? It's close range. He's right up in your grill. So if you're going to try to shoot him, that's actually going to be a -1 accuracy penalty.
Can I very dramatically tip over the edge of the from the roof down to the ground, shoot arrows at the Agata, and then land on my feet, hero
Are you
style?
are you going to try to aim for the bushes, basically?
No, I'm literally just gonna land on my feet.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so
Go
then I
ahead.
basically get to short range so that I get the +5, and then shoot and then land.
Okay. Go ahead and roll dexterity archery for me.
+5. Is this
With
considered a...
I will give you. I feel like this is probably going to be the biggest stunt that we see this session. So I'm going to go ahead and award you a 3-point stunt for that. So that's going to be 2 bonus dice and 2 automatic successes.
Okay. 6 successes.
6 successes against the Agata.
And I got 2 automatic successes, so that's 8 successes.
8 successes. All right. Okay. Go ahead and roll damage with 3 threshold dice.
Eight successes.
8 successes. All right. All right, that's going to put you up to 27 and bring it down to 7. All right. But now it is the other Agata's turn. It it went stinger first towards Zeke, right?
The one that clawed me, you mean?
Yeah, the one that clawed you. Oh, I guess if this was the stinger one, then this was the one that you just attacked. All right, hold on. I messed up there. That's still 15, and that is down to 8. So it takes the arrows and continues dive bombing at you. And it is going to try to slice through you with its claw.
This is fine.
How do you want to defend against that? Oh, it's evasion. It's got to be evasion because you don't have.
It's going to be
scientific
evasion.
defense.
Yeah.
All right. What? And your evasion is 3. You said.
Great. Yeah.
It just hit you.
Okay.
One, two. Oh, sorry. What's your and your soak is 2. You said.
Yeah.
One, two. 4 damage to your initiative, so that's going to bring you down to 23. And him up to 12. All right. Now it's the other guy's turn. And it is going to try to... Yeah, it's going to try to claw at you again, Zeke.
Okay.
And... All right, how do you want to block? How do you want to defend against it?
I mean, since the end of my last term, I did kind of trying to step in towards her. Mm-hmm. So this thing's probably going to be pretty close up and personal on her as well as on me. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just attack to, step in closer to her again and evade, so that it's swinging at me, ducks, and hits her. Is the end goal? Is the attempt?
All right. And what is your
4?
4? Okay. It again just hit. And what's your soak?
3.
All right. That is going to be 2, 3, 4 damage to you for your initiative.
All right.
Which puts you down to 1.
Yep.
But you still haven't gone yet, so that's you may be able to fix that. Strudel, it's your turn.
Perfect.
No, I'm sorry. No, Zeke, it is your turn. Zeke, you're going first.
Okay.
I'm confusing myself with my notes.
So yeah, the idea is to kind of keep her in close so she can't really use the whip. Mm-hmm. And keep her off balance. I want to do so this is like a really obvious attempt at a low swipe that I'm going to go, and it's just going to kind of carry around, and I end up spinning and swinging at the actually at the Agata instead.
Okay.
So I kind of step into her like I'm going to go low and just as like a fake out.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make the attack roll. One thing that I would like to point out, especially since everyone's kind of languishing, we have a few people sort of hanging out at low initiatives. One option you always have is what's known as an excellency. Any of the abilities that have the box checked off to the left of them is either your favorite or cast, and you can spend 1 essence to get you can spend an essence to get an extra die on that roll, up to a number of however many you have. Like if you've got 3 dots in abilities in a particular ability, you can spend 3 points of essence to add 3 more dice.
Mm-hmm. That is 5 successes.
5 successes to hit the Agata. It tried to block your thing a little bit too late because it bought the feint. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage with 2 threshold dice.
2 threshold dice, and then minus its.
And then minus its soak, which is these things are soaky. 8.
Whoa.
Okay. So.
This is we're getting into an important rule though, an important rule, the overwhelming rule. You're using your Dire Lance, which has an overwhelming rating. Basically, you can't roll fewer than that many dice for damage.
Okay. One, two, three.
3 damage?
Yep.
Okay. That was Zeke, right? All right. So that was Zeke, and now Strudel, it's your turn.
Strudel is going to charge at the whip lady who's having a rough day. Um, and then he's going to I think he's gonna try and slide under her legs, coming from the back. He'll yell something weird like, "Here's your sprinkles." Slide under her legs to get it back behind her, and he's gonna come in with a haymaker to the back of her head.
Okay. Um. All right. Go ahead and I'll give you 2 dice for the stunt, and go ahead and make the attack roll. Dexterity martial arts.
Sounds good. Can I burn 3 essence down 3 dice?
Yeah, sure.
Dexterity martial arts.
You said you've got to be dipping into your peripheral now, right?
Just for the last one because it was 5 total,
Okay.
so I didn't want to.
So, what kind of light show is happening right now?
I would imagine put me on the spot here. I think maybe frosting begins secreting from my skin and various surfaces around me,
Okay.
making it sticky.
You have a glaze.
And a glaze, that's the right
Yeah.
word. Okay. Here we go. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 successes.
5 successes. All right. That Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll. That'll hit with 2 threshold dice.
2 threshold. What does that mean again?
2 extra dice on the damage. So basically, you're gonna, in your case, you're gonna be rolling your strength plus 2.
Perfect. That will be 3 successes.
3 successes. All right, that's gonna put you back up to 6.
Yeah.
And her at just the most uncomfortable initiative ever. All right. All right, but it's her turn. And she turns to she looks at you and just I will not be made a fool of.
Maybe a little late for that, but
And she actually lashes out with her hand this time. And this time, as she does, another whip sort of forms out of this green fire. And she catches you with it. Do you want to try to evade or block?
I will block. How does my soak play in here?
We'll figure out. That's after when we factor in damage.
Okay. Block.
Okay. So what's your parry?
My parry is 4.
4. Okay. It hits. It hits
Okay.
hard. Let's see, that is. 16. 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2, 3, 4, 5. She's just not having a good day. But that is going to be 5 damage to you as uh, she is there. She's given up finesse at this point. She is just sort of like trying to wail on you with this thing. But yeah, that's 5 damage to you. That's going to put you down to 1, and her up to -12.
How does the soak play in there?
I forgot to ask that. What is your soak again?
8 dice.
8. Oh my god. So you know, we're just gonna say you took no damage on that. You're still at 6 because I forgot to factor that in, and rather than re-roll anything, you're just like it is. That's right, because I gave you the punnily named armor proof of life. You being a bakery kind of thing. So you as she does this, like it's leaving like scorch marks on you, but you don't feel them. Almost as though you're like there was a layer of protective dough around you. And you know what? Honestly at this, unfortunately, I'm just looking at the time. I think she is going to try to make a tactical escape this time. So I'm going to give her one last roll to try to disengage, basically bolt, and we'll see if you guys get one last shot in her to try to like just completely take her out. Who would be next? Irenaeus. Would go ahead. You're back on the ground though. You're muted.
So, considering I got the money walking, wall running technique,
Yep.
I want to run up the walls
Yep.
and then basically gain enough speed so that I kind of launch myself up in the air, and I'll make a decisive attack against her.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Just roll dexterity archery. No. No accuracy modifier.
Yep. You're definitely gonna hate me. 6 successes.
That hits. Now go ahead and roll 23 dice.
Thirteen successes.
13 successes. She is battering or trying to batter, if you'll pardon the pun, our donut monk over here. Just like one after another, whip after whip after whip after whip. And when an arrow just comes out of nowhere and catches her right through the neck. And she looks back up at back in the direction that it came from as Irenaeus makes like the superhero landing on the roof.
Return to sender. Bye.
This is just the beginning. As she face plants on the roof of the temple, The Agata begin to fly away, returning to the clouds from which they came. And with
Could I?
that, what?
Oh,
No, go
yeah. I
ahead.
was gonna say, like, with the idea you presented earlier, could I turn her into a donut, a bug donut?
Uh, as the this green mist starts to sort of evaporate about her, you reach into your apron and hold out a donut, and it becomes this like gem center in the hole of the donut,
Perfect.
and it's this like sickly green color. May not want to eat it, but you have that as a memento of your adventure. And with that, friends, that brings us to the close of this one shot.
Perfect.
Did you guys have fun?
Yep.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Thanks to everybody in chat for hanging out in and coming along with this bonkers atypical god. The adventures of the chosen of atypical gods. You don't usually hear adventures of frogs, donuts, uh, and painters. But that's the nature of the game with Exalted. You can do a little bit of everything, and this one was very combat heavy. But honestly, one of the things that I love the most about Exalted is that it is a system that is also very well suited for things like courtly intrigue. If you want to do more stealth, if you want to do more social, if you want to do it is built for anything that you want to do with it. And yeah, that's if you have we'll do let's do a quick outro. Folks, if there's anything you guys want to plug, any place you want to be, anywhere you are on the internet. Zach.
Hello, I am Zachary Nowdert, he, him. I can be found at Zach Rules. It says below my face, somewhere around here. On many social media places. If you find Zach Ruiz, that's because he got there first. Don't be mad at him. That's on him. That's on me, not on him. But try Zach Rules Dice. If that doesn't work, then I'm not on that platform. I will be back streaming in like about an hour or so over on Plastic Age Plays for the Scion panel. I am a TTRG RPG and freelance community content writer. If you go to Onyx Path's drive-through store and you look at the hottest under community content titles, Bloody Burrows is one of the ones I wrote on. So go check that out.
Nice. Edwin, what about you?
At Whistles, I do have a Twitter, but I didn't provide that to Travis this time around, so it's not there, which is fine. I'm basically just here to cause chaos and disrupt games with my style of play, as certain people have already noticed. Basically, always part of the Onyx Path comes with several games that I play, and 9 out of 10 times we always hit the max time limit for it. So,
Caden, what about you?
I'm Caden Stageman. I like playing all kinds of TTRPGs and then causing chaos too. And I think this time I got a character that was definitely had the affinity for it. So that was fun.
I'm Will Spreadbury, better known in most corners of the internet as Radio Free Will. The one down the bottom there that you see under my name, that is my Twitter handle. I never use Twitter, or X as it's called now. Take away that underscore, and that's me on TikTok, where I make all sorts of content about all sorts of RPGs that are not Dungeons and Dragons. And I have a particular affinity for this one, Exalted. I am the self-appointed CEO of Exalted TikTok. And I make all sorts of jokes about the lore and memes about it that really only amuse me. But that's what TikTok is for. You can also find me here on Twitch at my other streaming channel, Beggar Street, where we highlight all sorts of other games. We're working on an Exalted game for that channel as well, but we are also doing, we're about to start a Girl by Moonlight game. We're doing Demigods over the summer. We got Masks New Generation coming in September. All sorts of cool stuff happening over there. Give us a follow over there if you haven't already. That's Beggar Street, BEGGARSTREET, Beggar Street. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you to my players. Huge thanks to Onyx Path for putting me on, for letting me do this for them. This has been an honor, absolutely. Thanks. Make sure to stick around for the rest of the stuff happening here at Onyx PathCon. What do we have next on the schedule here at Rolling Nomads? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
I believe Rolling Nomads is done for the day.
Okay.
We're not going to make the Exalted panel, but we're going to hop over and catch the second half of Silver Studios as they are currently playing something. I forget what it is. They're currently playing Trinity Continuum Anima. So
awesome. Yeah, go check them out. No. Why not Plastic Age? It's our time. There's a Scion Dragon game coming. That's later on for Rolling Nomads. But we're about to raid another Onyx PathCon folks. So go stick around, give them a follow, go hang out, and enjoy the con, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Yep.
Take it easy, gang.